Hello all my dear students, Hseb Suraj is once again in front of you to help. Today I'm going to tell you about an interpreting text of the popular fairy tale Hansel and Gretel from class 12, which is Hansel and Gretel by Jack Gibbs. According to Jack Gibbs, the story of Hansel and Gretel is all in all about hope and victory. We can even call this story as a political story. Jack Gibbs has interpreted this story of Hansel and Gretel using Marxist point of view. Before moving to his interpretation of Marxist point of view, I would like to tell you something about Marxist theory. As we know, the propounder of Marxist theory is Karl Marx. Marxist theory explains mainly about two classes in every society. According to Marxist theory, there is always conflict between these two classes. Here in this conflict, there is always victory of lower class over upper class at last. For example, at the end of 18th century, the lower class people wanted to change feudalism to capitalism. The ideology of feudalism was proved wrong. The lower class people suffered a lot during that time of feudalism. The upper class people were quite bad and selfish by their nature. They used to oppress all the lower class people for their benefits. The famine, poverty as well as torture of upper class people made lower class people live their life in a very miserable state. Due to starvation, most of the lower class people even involved themselves in bad deeds in society. They started doing a struggle against all the upper class people. They hoped their bright future in capitalism. Most of the lower class people changed their lifestyle from extreme poverty to richness, doing hard struggle against all the upper class people. They got victory over upper class people at last doing hard struggle. According to Jack Gibbs, there are two classes here in this story of Hansel and Gretel. For example, the woodcutter's family as lower class, the witch as upper class. He has related the famine of the story Hansel and Gretel with the famine of 18th century. Poverty leads the lower class people do bad deeds in the society. Here in this story too, we find woodcutter and his wife have done bad deeds of deserting their kids in the dense forest during famine. This shows the compulsion of lower class people. The witch in the story of Hansel and Gretel has presented the upper class people of 18th century who were quite bad and selfish by their nature. They used to oppress the lower class people for their benefits. Here in this story, the witch has compelled Gretel in various household tasks and even locked Hansel inside a cage to eat him. The upper class people of 18th century were so prosperous. They had sophisticated lifestyle. Here in this story too, the prosperity of witch can easily be noticed through her house made of sweets and jewels inside it. The way of her living style has presented the feudalist way of living. According to Marxist theory, when there is extreme oppression or torture from upper class, the revolt of lower class starts. Here in this story, when the witch oppresses the kids a lot, the revolt of kids is seen. They kill the witch at last. During 18th century, the lower class people had gone against upper class people and even taken a lot of things from upper class and changed themselves into capitalists. Here in this story too, the kids take a lot of jewels from witch's house to change their bad status. During 18th century, the lower class people had got victory over upper class people at last. Here in this story too, the lower class kids win at last over the upper class witch. According to the prediction of Karl Marx, laymen can go against the rich people for their own betterment. So this is all in all about this interpreting text, which is Hansel and Gretel by Jack Gibbs. Now, I would like to present you some important questions and their answers which will help you in your examination. Thank you for watching this video. We'll meet again in my next video. Until then, bye bye, take care, and don't forget to subscribe and like my videos. Thank you very much. Subscribe this channel, hit the bell icon. Thank you very much.